Good Yontif, welcome. We are here on, that's just starting our 7th night of Passover, which we generally in the Reform movement uses our last date. It's our conclusion of the Passover festival. And of course, at the end of the Passover festival, it is traditional to have a Yizkor service, an opportunity to pray together and also to remember our loved ones. During our service, we will be sharing some readings from our Siddur. If you have your prayer book with you, please keep it with you and around, but we're also going to be screen sharing some of our pages. So just know anything that might be a little different than the usual, I will be sharing with you on your screen. So just keep alert for that. We are going to begin with Avadim Hayinu. And if you have the big Mishkan Tefillah, it's on page 683.
Traditionally, we believe that on the 7th day, we actually celebrate the crossing of the Red Sea and the jubilation that created. But in order to cross the Red Sea, our story started with Avadim Hayinu. We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and God took us out of Egypt with an outstretched hand. Avadim hayinu, hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, ata b'nei chorin.
All right, and as go ahead, Sarah.
As we do with all of our festivals and with all of our sacred times, Shabbat, our festivals, our holidays, we begin every special observance with the lighting of the candles, because by lighting those candles, it makes a separation between regular time and sacred time. And so we're going to light the candles as a marker that the 7th day is about to begin, and all Jewish days begin at night, actually, in answer to the original creation story, where it says, and there was evening and there was morning, the first day, the second day, the third. So we will join together in blessing these candles.
I don't think we can see your candles, Cantor.
Oh, here we go. Is that better?
We could just see the tips. Can you get a little bit more in there?
Sure.
Yes, thank you. Wonderful.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner v'tzivanu lahadlik ner V'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov.
It's so tempting to want to say Shel Shabbat, because we're used to lighting those candles on Shabbat. I'm so glad you remembered Yom Tov, because I might not have. We're going to continue now with our festival blessings specific, and we're going to the festival Kiddush, and that is on page 386.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagadol ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העם, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה מועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון, את יום חג המצות הזה, זמן חירותנו, מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ומועדי קודשך בשמחה ובששון הנחתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש ישראל והזמנים.
Chaim.
Amen. Chaim.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. We now continue with Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
And as we continue on with Micha Mocha, our song of freedom that comes from the book of Exodus, which features our master story of the Jewish people of coming out. We have our last day. We're beginning of Passover, last day of matzah, last day of, if for those of you who have special dishes, last day of special recipes. And so even though many of us are ready to move on past the days of unleavened bread, there's this day always brings a little bit of wispiness to me, thinking about these past 7 days and how important it is to fulfill this, the observance of this festival. So one more time, we sing Micha Mocha and our special Passover Nusach, our Passover tune.
Because if there is a theme song for Pesach, it is Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha, Vaylim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Neder HaKodesh, Nora Hilot, Osei Ele, Malchutecha, Ra'uvanacha, Vokeyayam lifnei Moshe, Umiyam Zeili anu ve'anu, Adonai Imloch Le'olam Vaed. And in honor of the concept of salvation, of redemption, of liberation, we join together in singing a beautiful melody to Ozi v'Zimrat Yah, which says, Adonai is my strength and might. God will be my salvation. We found it first this festival in the section of Hallel, the songs of praise, which are incorporated into our Seder observance in the Haggadah. Ozi Vezimatia Baili Lishua Ozi Vezimatia Baili Yeshua, Ozi, Eze Maria, Ai, Yeshua, Ozi, Eze Maria, Ozi, Ezimat, Ya, Ai, Yeshua.
Beautiful. We continue now with Shalom Rav. Go ahead, Cantor.
Part of our salvation will be a world at peace, for which we sing and pray in every worship service. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amacha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה ישלומך. שלום ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
As we turn to our quiet meditation, it feels like this temporary new normal has been normal for far too long. Just a little over a month ago, we could have never imagined where we are today. Cantor and I could never have imagined we'd be broadcasting services from our respective homes. Me with a virtual background of our chapel, but I'm really in my basement right now.
Our spiritual home.
For sure. We'd never imagined that we'd have traveled this far in such a short amount of time. And sometimes, even though cognitively we know that we're going to be out of this, and at some point we're going to return to whatever our normal lives were, and probably they'll be forever changed, uh, it's still, we need a moment and we need some time to consider all the changes that we've experienced so recently. The distance that we now have between those we love, the inability to be physically close to those we love, and how our lives have been turned a little upside down right now, some more than others. So we take this time and we just consider where we've been and where we are, and where we are going. We pause for a few moments of quiet reflection.
Earlier today, I actually said to Rabbi Caruso that it is because of these next words that we are going to be singing that we're still here, that we are still worshiping as Jews, and from wherever we are, whether it is in our homes or outside or in our synagogues or anywhere in the world. It is because we have repeated year after year, in every generation, we must see ourselves as if we had personally come out of Egypt. This year, it feels particularly personal, particularly immediate, as I echo what Rabbi Caruso said a moment ago, that we are praying that we might exit this particular Egypt very, very soon. B'chol dor vador. B'chol dor vador, hayav Adam lirot et atzmo kilu yatsa miMitzrayim. B'chol dor vador, hayav Adam lirot et atzmo כאילו יצא ממצרים. כאילו יצא ממצרים.
Okay. Now I'd like to share a few words with you. At this extraordinary time, Leah and I have relished the unexpected arrival of our sons during this Passover season, an indulgence we never imagined. They are, of course, still tethered to the full lives they led before the coronavirus entered everyone's orbit. Their current world outside of Shaker Heights is still very much with them, more so than the one they left behind at the time of high school graduation, not so long ago. And it's as it should be. The boys have been keeping in touch with friends via FaceTime, Zoom, email, and every other sort of electronic communication. Surprisingly, they have also been sending and receiving handwritten letters right from our mailbox. To me, the substance of those letters, a private matter for them, of course, is less interesting than the fact that my 21 and 19-year-old children still participate in age-old correspondence, what we now call snail mail. I suppose each one of you joining here for this service tonight is of the age where you might recall handwritten letters. Perhaps you are still someone who enjoys writing a message on stationery, pen to paper, or simply composing an informal yet personal note. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere in your home, there is a shoebox filled with letters, treasured missives from a past lover, friend, sibling, or parent. I recently found a letter my father had sent to his sister, my aunt, both now deceased. When I discovered it, I carefully lifted the envelope seal flap, gently reached inside, and found a 70-year-old treasure. Running my fingers along my father's dramatic handwriting, letters looping atop and below their given spacing, his words came alive. He came alive. The letter, written before I was ever imagined, opened a window into who he was and who he was yet to become. It offered a sneak preview into the coming decades of his life. He didn't know then the joys and disappointments he would experience in the coming years. He couldn't wholly comprehend a life filled with love and loss, life and death. In some small but significant way, I wanted to write back to him, his future son, and tell him about my life, my wife, and the grandchildren he never got to meet. At this time of Passover, the Feast of Freedom, we are willingly bound to the past. We learn that to be truly free, we must know from where we came. It serves us well to run our fingers along the letters of a dispatch from long ago, along the letters of a gravestone that bears the name of a cherished loved one. As Jews, we can trace our fingers along the letters of our Torah text, a personal dispatch to us, its narrative and teachings sent from the family archives. As Rabbi Eric Bram, Zichrono Livracha, wrote, "The Torah is a letter written by someone in your family a long time ago who did not know you by name, but knew you would come along. It was written by someone who loved you and wanted you to be from somewhere." May we continue to read the letters of our generational family, of our people, and may we compose new ones for those who will follow. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
We continue now with Shiviti,
Mm.
traditionally sung, and we continue. I'm going to share the screen so you can see page 578 in your prayer books.
Shiviti Adonai lenegdi amid ki mimi ma'amot lachen samach libi vayagel kivodi ach besami yishkon laveta ach besami yishkon laveta.
Amen. Yizkor Elohim Nishmot Yakarai. May God remember forever all of our loved ones who have gone to their eternal rest. May they be at one with the one who is life eternal. May the beauty of their lives shine forevermore. And may my life, our lives, always bring honor to their memory. We pause for a few moments before we read the names of the loved ones who have passed in the last year. We remember Jim Rosenthal, Stephen Isaacs, Robert Shacknow, Elaine Fellman, Philip Cohen, Milton Joseph Deitch, Fred Andrew Southard Jr., Fritz Nussbaum, Rita Lawrence, Rosalind Black, Kira Hernandez, Shirley Metzenbaum, John A. Moore, Byron Eugene Miller, Benjamin Saltzman, Alan Gart, Eva Manyaski Tushman, Elise Irene Kirschenbaum, Eleanor Rose, Stanley Minster.
Ethel Sally Wernick, Harold Isaacs, Marion Heiser, Linda Stam, Robert Allen November, Max Silberman, Ida Oliver, Jeanette Gerard, Alvin Barkley, Jerome Kramer, Beverly Gill, Eugene Hirschberg, Gail Schneider, Donald Kalish, Stephen Fish, Madeline Moskowitz, Jean Frankel, Jean Master, James A. Samuels, Heidi Fox.
Beatrice K. B. Wise, Corinne Wise Weitzman, Esther Meckler, Richard Rick Lashaw, Ruth Begleiter, Stanley Dobkin, Rita Goldstein, Karen Landau, Lester P. Wyman, Ernest Marcus, Barbara Becker, Linda Reiches, Janice Blumenthal, Alberta Oswald, Philip Ehrman, Sharon Cohen, Lawrence Burns, Dr. Arthur Weinstein, Ronald Simon, Sarah Jane Weisberg.
Rhoda Roth, Michael Oppenheimer, Ralph Orkin, Joyce Ecker, Marlene Cohn, Dr. Raymond Kahn, Ashley Y. James, Toby Fishman, Lois Evanchik, Jody Kaplansky, Susan Grody Rubin, Jerry Michael Thomas, Morton Mandel, Gary Golenberg, Joel Kraus, Terry, Tanya Solzer, Joel Kraus, Larry Joseph, Barbara Hirschman.
Jean Frumkin, Beverly Kroll, Vicki Vigil,
Vigil.
Stephen G. Friedman, Nathan Malamed, Sybil Haberman, Marlene Joy Loth, Rabbi Alan Smith, Dorothy Ackerman, Gloria Dorsky, Renee Aronoff, Norbert Malin, Arlene Rubenstein, Caroline Kaplansky, Jacob Eli Slutsky, Arlene Scheinberg, Philip Seidel, Stephanie Gart, Rosalie Goldner, Ernestine Schachter Pantel, Milton Kaplan.
Sally Kahn, Miriam Steele, Charles Schwed Jr., Captain James Purcell, Doris Edelsberg, Judith Kay, Judith Brody, Rabbi Samuel Brody, Phyllis Selker, Dr. Marvin Brook, Ann Calver, Ann Burke, Rita Braverman, Ivan Goldfarb, PhD, Eva Lempert, Richard Miller, Richard Ronis, Helen Jacobson, Edward B. Davis, Sally Schneeweiss.
Henry J. Zucker, Linda Joint, Lucille J. Rosenberg, Jeffrey Lavin, Alvin L. Gray, Mark M. Gordon, Janet Gilbert, David Brule, Suzanne Chloe, Janice Carno, Karen Groden, Marlon Ludwig, Lynette Goodman, Miriam Ronis. At this time, we join together On page 583 of your prayer books, I've shared the screen with you. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them.
Remember them.
In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
Remember them.
In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring,
We remember them.
in the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer,
We remember them.
in the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn,
We remember them.
in the beginning of the year and when it ends,
We remember them.
when we are weary and need of strength,
We remember them.
when we are lost and sick at heart,
We remember them.
when we have joys we yearn to share.
We remember them.
So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us. As we
remember them.
We continue now with El Maleh Rachamim, our memorial prayer. You're invited to stand at your seats at this time.
El Maleh Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Ametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim Udorim, Izorakia Mashirim, Et Nishmot Yakireinu, Shavu Leolamam, Lahin Balarachamim, Yastirim, Pesetagnam, Leolamim, Yitzrohayim, Et Nishmatam, Achayim, Et Nishmatam, Adonai, Hu Nachalatam, Ve'anuchu Shalom al Mishkan
Fully compassionate God on high, to our loved ones who have entered eternity, grant clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and pure, whose brightness shines like the very glow of heaven. Source of mercy, forever enfold them in the embrace of your wings. Secure their souls in eternity. Adonai, they are yours. They will rest in peace. And we say together, Amen. We continue now with the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'galau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam alo me'om maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say together, Amen.
Amen. It is.
Go ahead. All yours.
I was just going to share that it is at this time, as Rabbi Caruso referred to in his welcome, it's about this time I get a text message or a call from my children or my brother. When do we end Pesach? And as Rabbi Caruso said, for Reform Jews, it is at sunset tomorrow evening. For those among us who have a more traditional observance, it would be at sunset on Thursday. There are members of my family who sort of split the difference and end after lunch on Thursday. So whenever it is, let it be a joyous end and a time of looking forward, understanding even better what Egypt must have meant to our ancestors and working even harder for the liberation of every human being. And in that spirit, let us turn to page 666. We will sing God of Might one last time for this holiday, but let us sing it first in Hebrew. It's not there, just from your memories, and then the first verse in English. Adieu, adieu, Ivne Bekaro, Imera, Imera, Yamenu Bekaro, El B'nai, B'nai Ve'to Bekaro. God of might, God of right, thee we give all glory, thine all praise in these days as in ages hoary, when we hear, year by year, freedom's wondrous story.
Well, Chag Sameach to you all on this final day of Passover. We hope that your tablecloth is not too filled with matzah pieces, but we certainly hope that you're able to maintain the humility of this holiday of unleavenedness, and certainly let us all rise to the other side of Passover into a world of confidence and joy and blessing. Chag Sameach. Amen.
Chag Sameach.